Today we will see the what are coordination compounds. We will have an introduction of the coordination compounds. What are coordination compounds? For example, if we take a solution containing two or more, अगर एक solution को ले उसमें हम दो या दो से ज़्यादा simple stable compounds लेंगे हैं, when a solution containing two or more simple stable compounds is allowed to evaporate, a new type of compound, a new substance, new type of compound is formed. एक अगर हम सॉल्यूशन को लेंगे इसमें एक सॉल्यूशन बनाएंगे जिसमें दो या दो से ज़्यादा स्टेबल कंपाउंड सिंपल स्टेबल कंपाउंड डिजोल्व करेंगे और फिर इसको हम एवापोरेट करेंगे. जब एवापोरेट करने के बाद हमें एक कंपाउंड जो मिलता है न्यू टाइप ऑफ सब्सटेंस न्यू टाइप ऑफ कंपाउंड इज फॉर्म्ड. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ वी टेक potassium chloride and we will mix in the solution potassium chloride and magnesium chloride, we will get a compound. We will get KCl, MgCl2, 6 times H2. If similarly, if we take potassium sulfate and solution of potassium sulfate and aluminum sulfate, we will get a new solution, that is K2SO4. We call it alum. This is we will get a, when first we have mixed the potassium chloride and magnesium chloride, we get a salt that is called carnallite, and in second case we get alum. Similarly, if we mix ferrous sulfate and ammonium sulfate, solution containing ferrous sulfate and ammonium sulfate, and we will get more salt. We get more salt. Now similarly, if we mix potassium cyanide, 4 times KCN plus FeCN, we will get FeCN and KCN, 4 times KCN. Now these compounds are similarly, if we mix another, I will show, if we take silver cyanide and potassium cyanide, we will get KCN and AgCN. Now these compounds can be categorized into two groups. I have shown these are actually addition compounds. These addition compounds which we have get when the solution containing to mix हमने solution लिया उसमें दो substance दो compounds डाल दिए and we have get the new type of salts. Now this new type of substance, these compounds can be categorized into two groups. Number first group is double salt or lattice compounds. डबल साल्ट्स को हम दूसरा नाम लेट्स कंपाउंड्स कर. व्हाट आर नाउ डबल साल्ट्स किसको बोलते हैं? यानी एक्चुअली दिस इज द एडिशन कंपाउंड. which are stable in solid state में they look in the solid state that it looks a single salt in solid state, but lose their identity in water. Identity यानी these break down in the solid state. Double salts, those salts which are stable in the solid state that look a single salt in the solid state, but break down into their individual constituents. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं पहला सॉल्ट लूँ पोटेशियम क्लोराइड या मैग्नीशियम क्लोराइड, so in the solid state this corner light looks as a single salt, but when we dissolve it water, it will KCl has its own identity, MgCl has its own identity, and it will give the potassium test, it will give the magnesium test and chloride test. Similarly, if we take the more salt, this one more salt, in more salt it looks as a in solid state it looks a single salt, but when we dissolve it water, they have its own they have their, it breaks down and it has it individual constant FeSO4 and it has individual constant NH4 whole twice SO4. Yani, when we test it the salt, it gives iron test, it gives ammonium test. So this compound is the double salt. This compound is known as double salt, or it's called a Litz compound. Now another type of compound I have seen, if we have mixed another potassium cyanide and iron cyanide. Now here the addition compounds in which these are this is the also addition compound. Now दूसरा group जो है, this is another addition compound in which one or more constituent, one of the constituents or molecules lose their identity, but do not break into individual constituents in the solution form. यानी अब इस सॉल्ट को हम लेंगे, मैंने पोटेशियम साइनाइड और आयरन साइनाइड को लिया, पोटेशियम साइनाइड और आयरन दिस Fe साइनाइड को लिया। तो जिस वक्त हम ये सॉल्ट लेते मिक्स करते तो पोटेशियम साइनाइड इट आई विल राइट इट इज K4 FeCN6, ऐसे लिखूंगा मैं। नाउ some of the constituents जो है molecules lose their identity, यानी we will not get the tests of iron, we get a test of FeCN6, it is ferrocyanide test. So totally a new type of compound is formed here, and this when this in the addition compounds or in double salts, in double salts the individual compounds जो होते हैं they have their own identity, but here a new type of salt is formed, a new type of entity is formed. This compound is known as the complex compound, or it is known as a coordination compound. So what is a coordination compound? So actually this is a molecular compound, addition molecular compound which is formed from two simple stable compounds. It is formed by the combination of two simple stable compounds and retain their identity and retain their identity in solution form, solution as well as solid form. So these are the molecular compounds formed by the combination of two simple or two or more simple or stable compounds and retain their identity in the solution as well as in the solid form. For example, these compounds, so these addition compounds, they contain a central metal atom or ion. These compounds contain a central metal atom or ion, and number of ions or neutral molecules which are bonded to it. So these are found apparently by from the saturated solution of two compounds. For example, I will take, if we take a green solution of nickel chloride, this is green in color, and if we mix ammonia solution to it, so we will get a compound, this type of compound. देयर इज एनी हॉट एविडेंस ऑफ निकल, जब आप इसको मिक्स करेंगे तो आपका जो न्यू कंपाउंड बनेगा वो NiNH3 6। सो वहां पर निकल की अपनी जो आइडेंटिटी नहीं होगी, a new type of NiNH3 6, this compound, and this compound is called a coordination compound. And this is when we mix the green solution of nickel chloride and with aqueous solution of ammonia, we get a purple solution, and a purple crystals are later formed. So there is any evidence in this new compound form, there is no evidence of nickel, but we get NiNH3 6, a new type of compound. So this compound is called a complex compound, or it is called a coordination compound. So in this we have written NiNH3 6 in the square brackets. So this is we call it a complex entity. We call it a complex entity. Similarly, so coordination compound, molecular compound are the addition compounds, molecular compounds which is formed by the combination of two or more simple compounds and written in the solution form as well as in the solid form. These have central metal atom ions and ions, and the neutral or ions, opposite charge ions more than it is normal valence state, which are bonded to it. So इसमें एक सेंट्रल एटम होता है और अपोजिट चार्ज आयंस होते हैं जो इसके साथ बॉन्ड होते हैं. दिस कंपाउंड इज कॉल्ड है कोऑर्डिनेशन कंपाउंड. अब इसमें कोऑर्डिनेशन कंपाउंड्स में हम देखते हैं कोऑर्डिनेशन एंटाइटी या कॉम्प्लेक्स आयन किसको बोलते हैं. कोऑर्डिनेशन एंटाइटी या कॉम्प्लेक्स आयन किसको बोलते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल मैं आपको मिसाल दे दूं. आई विल टेक अ कंपाउंड दिस CO. I have taken this compound. So COCl3 NH3 whole thrice. This is a coordination entity. इसका मतलब coordination entity it constitutes. इसमें क्या होता है, एक तो इसमें होता है central metal atom or ion, and there are a fixed number of opposite charge ions, charged ions or neutral molecules. Bonded to it. For example, in this compound, cobalt is central metal atom and it is bonded to 3 chloride ions and 3 ammonia neutral molecules. Similarly, for example, if we take NiNH3 whole 6, now this is a compound. So this compound, this is a coordination entity. In this, nickel is bonded to 6 neutral molecules. Similarly, if you take FeCN6, I have written in the square brackets, it is iron is bonded to 6 cyanide ions. So this coordination entity it constitutes central metal atom and a fixed number of opposite charge ions or molecules which are bonded to the central metal atom. Now the central metal atom, जो central metal atom आता, the central atom metal atom और जो ion आपका है, and the molecules bonded to इसके साथ अब molecules or ions bonded to the central metal atom, it constitutes these are kept in the square brackets, so we call it coordination sphere. So coordination sphere जो है actually क्या होता है, coordination sphere includes the central metal atom or ion and the opposite number of ions or the neutral molecules, oppositely charged ions or neutral molecules which are bonded to the central metal. These are enclosed in the square brackets. So this is the coordination sphere. Coordination sphere is a single entity. single unit. That means when we take it, it will not bifurcate into nickel, or it will bifurcate. For example, if we take CuNH3 whole 4 SO4, and complex, I have written this in square bracket CuNH2 whole 4. It is a single entity. When we dissolve it in water, it will, the coordination sphere will ionize as a single unit, and SO4 as ions, and so SO4 will be the counter ions, and this is the coordination sphere. So according to the charge, now, so coordination sphere जो है constitutes central metal atom and oppositely charged ions or molecules which are bonded to the central metal. These are kept in the square brackets. So this is called the coordination sphere. Now, or we call it the, now coordination sphere जो है, it is also complex. It is also called a coordination complex. Now, depending upon the charge on the coordination complex, अब इस पर कौन सी charge है? It will be cationic complex. यानी if the coordination complex contains positive charge, anionic complex if it contains negative charge, and neutral complex if it is neutral. For example, CONH3 whole 6 tripositive. Now, this complex, this is a coordination sphere, and there is positive charge on 3 positive charges on it. So hexaamine cobalt third जो है ये, तो this is the cationic complex. Similarly, for example, dipositive, NiNH3 whole 6 is dipositive. There are 2 positive charges, so it's a cationic complex. Similarly, for example, अगर हम लेंगे दूसरा AgCN this is negative charge on the coordination sphere, so it is anionic complex. Similarly, if we take FeC2O4 whole thrice tri-negative, so this is anionic complex. So depending upon the charge on the coordination complex, it will be a cationic complex or anionic complex, or it can be neutral. For example, NiCO whole 4. This is neutral complex. Tetracarbonyl nickel, it is neutral complex because it has no charge. So depending upon the charge on the complex end, it will be positive. It can be positive, that is cationic complex. It can have negative charge, it is anionic complex. It can be neutral. And now, there are, in the coordination complex you have read, there is central metal atom. Now, so what is central metal atom? So central atom is the metal atom. Usually it is d block element का होता है. The metal atom to which oppositely charged metal atom or ion, to which oppositely charged ions or neutral molecules are bonded is called central metal atom. For example, I will show by the example. You are read. I will write here NiNH3 whole 6. It is cationic complex, dipositive. So ये nickel जो है, to nickel is central metal atom, and the atom to which bond इसमें bonded has 6 neutral molecules, that is ammonium molecules. So nickel is central metal atom. And जो इसके साथ bonded हैं, they can be neutral molecules. These are called ligands. For example, I will show FeCN whole 6 that is tri-negative. So it is anionic complex. Here central atom is iron, and these 6 cyanide ions are ligands. You must know that ligands actually, the central atom metal atom has it has vacant orbitals. So these 6 ammonia molecules are these ligands. They donate pair of electrons. They donate electron pairs to the central metal atom. Here cyanide ion has 6 cyanide ions have donate electrons to the iron. That means central metal atom, it is a Lewis acid, and this जो donate करता है electron, it is Lewis base. So central atom, metal atom. So the metal atom or the ion to which oppositely charged ions or the neutral molecules are attached is known as central metal atom, whereas those ions or the neutral molecules which are attached to the central metal atom are called the ligands. So this was the introduction to the coordination compounds.